Who saw the last debate? Okay, who's going to watch the next debate? Okay, that's what we're here to talk
Same
about.
out.
So, Hilary, Alex, great to have both of you. What's going to happen in the next debate?
Oh, it'll be just
First of all,
as-
it kind of sucks between being
I'm
us,
sorry?
but we're the last ones between them and lunch, so.
Yeah, well, no, this is, they're here because they want to know what we all know, but I want to just handicap this for a minute because in debate one, we saw Donald Trump talking a lot about, Hannity and the 400-pound hacker and, stuff like it was kind of all over your guy, right? So, and Hillary seemed, as she said, she really studied up, but Benghazi didn't come up, Goldman Sachs didn't come up, emails didn't come up. So I'm just interested in what both, you know important people in both campaigns. What do you think each side has to do next time? Alex? Is he going to be Hillary next time?
I think they
As
can
prepared?
I think they can be just as dull and uninteresting as in the first debate, probably. What does Donald Trump have to do next time? I thought Hillary's debate strategy was actually very sharp, very smart. These are two candidates with 75% unfavorable ratings, and they're both working real hard to get them up to about 150% unfavorable ratings. But whoever the debate is about then is losing. So Hillary let the debate be about Donald Trump, and I think Donald Trump let the debate be about Donald Trump. It's much better if the debate's about the American people and the future. And when the debate's about the future, guess what happens? It drives change, the desire for change. 70% of the American people think the country's on the wrong track. What does Trump have to do?
Right.
Make the debate about where Hillary Clinton would take this country and where she wouldn't, and why she's continuity, and why that's more of the same, and why we can't afford that, and why 4 or 8 more years of that might take the country in the wrong direction so far that we could not recover. So that, I think, is a debate strategy.
Hillary, if you were an advisor to Donald Trump getting ready for debate number 2, what would you say to him to kind of get his act together?
I don't think you'd apply for that job.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you look at Donald Trump's platform, he positions himself as a populist, but he has a very traditional Republican doctrinaire platform, right? So it is tax cuts for the wealthy, eliminate the estate tax, ban on immigration,
Economic growth.
Anti-choice, anti-LGBT rights, climate change is a hoax. Like, in many respects, he has had trouble consolidating the Republican base, I think, because he hasn't focused more on those sorts of things. Conversely, I think from Hillary's perspective, people are talking probably too much about her personality, her issues, and the like. And when you poll the American people on the issues that, like the ones I just named, you get 60% agreement with Hillary's positions than you do with Trump's position.
Well,
so
as I said,
whether or not this debate ends up being about issues is beyond. But just when you think it might be, like for the last 2 days we've been talking about Donald Trump's treatment of women and whether he's fat-shaming girls. And I have a 17-year-old daughter. I'm horrified by this conversation. That, first of all, Donald Trump must have like a man mirror. I look fantastic today, right? That's a man mirror. He's got a man mirror. So that, I'd rather talk about, and I know Hillary would rather talk about, well, actually, the Affordable Care Act equalized health care for women. Choice is an issue. Child care is an issue. But, instead we're talking about whether girls are too fat.
Yeah.
It's appalling.
Will you surprise the moderator, Lester Holt, in this case, but do you expect emails, Goldman Sachs and Benghazi to come up in future rounds, and how do you think that will
I'm sure they will, because he just, objectively lost every opportunity to push on her. I don't think Goldman Sachs, what's he going to attack her for her wealth? I don't think so. But, emails, I thought her answer was great, right? It was short, it was sweet. He didn't hit it much beyond that. And I think one of her problems, and I'd be curious on Alex's view on this. By the way, I can't believe this guy is helping Trump. I love him so much.
I'll
We've
explain
been
why.
close friends for a long time. But
do you remain friends?
Absolutely.
We'll see about another 10 minutes. Yeah, I think so.
Well, I mean,
But
can I-
what I was just going to say is, with Donald Trump, there's like 1,000 things to go at.
Right.
With Hillary, there's sort of one.
Right.
Right? And so
I
what
have
we've
a
had
longer
is,
list.
what we've had is sort of one issue emails playing over 1,000 times,
Right.
and we've had 1,000 issues playing once. I'm in marketing, like, imagine the impression that
Right.
gets left
Let me
there.
give Alex a chance to talk about what the targets are on Hillary, but Alex, I have to ask you this because you wrote a great line. I just want to ask how you sort of square all this because we're all friends. But you wrote, if you are angry and alone, you're more likely to be a Trump voter. If you have to stand up and declare your support at your child's third grade class picnic, it's become increasingly and embarrassingly difficult to embrace Donald Trump. So you did that, but you're now embracing Donald Trump and overcoming that difficulty and embarrassment. But so tell us about that journey a little bit, and about the target that you think Hillary, the targets that Hillary represents.
Isn't that inconvenient that when you write something like that, it lasts forever?
You've evolved.
Well, my candidate's lost
Yeah.
in the primary, right? Donald Trump won, and I think as Republicans, and we need to learn something from that. But at the end of the day, I have a binary choice here, and if someone can tell me that this election is not urgent, that it does not matter, that we can let the country continue to drift along in the
Right.
same direction for 4 or 8 more years, I might consider other options, you know. There are a lot of Republicans who are willing to let this election pass. And I don't think we can do that because I do think it matters. I do think that $20 trillion debt, a world that seems to be dissolving, the center does not hold, the old Irish poet says. The metastasizing threat coming to our shores increasingly, and we seem to be unable to do that. A weaker country, a less optimistic country, we're losing our confidence and faith in the future. And I don't want to become Europe. I don't want to become, just go too far down the wrong road to turn back. So my great hope and belief is that Donald Trump will be not necessarily the future of the Republican Party, as in this is the beginning of a new direction for us, but I do hope he's the turnaround CEO who comes in here, cleans up the books, fires the people that need to be fired, and he's good at that, and then stops our competitors from kicking sand
You
in
really
our
think
face
he's
so we
going to
can
clean
do
up
that.
the books?
I
I just had to go a little deeper on that one. Not
Yeah.
too long, but let me ask you
I
one
think
other
a
question.
business,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the idea of bringing in a lot of business people into government and cleaning out the establishment, frankly, from both parties, Republican and
He doesn't
establishment,
even
Have
want
you
to
been
pay
would be a great
taxes.
idea.
Have you
Where's he
been
going to
paid
get the
yet?
revenue?
I work for the super PAC. I don't do
You're not
anything
worried
for the
about
campaign.
payment?
Do you think once Donald Trump is controlling the government, he'll pay taxes to it?
I think if you want to bring up, look, I'm sure you pay more taxes than you have to. and
I'm sure I pay
you-
more taxes than Donald Trump.
No, I don't think you do.
I think
But
we
I'll
all
tell you
pay
this,
more
do
taxes
you
than Donald
recommend,
Trump.
who in the audience here thinks it's a great idea to pay more taxes than you're required to by law? Not, okay. And by the way, since we're going to talk about corruption, why don't we talk about the corrupt empire of the Clinton Foundation, the Clinton Global Initiative,
Oh, no.
speeches, yeah,
So
let's
that,
go
so
there.
Clinton.
Point of
so-
all of
so I
this
ask
is
you what the
back to the
target-
big picture.
So just short form, what would the targets be?
Targets
in of Hillary Clinton? So Hillary said there was one.
I think,
emails.
I think, frankly, loading on more negatives onto Hillary Clinton about her dishonesty, which the American people have made their own judgment about, and I think rightly so, about her lack of character in that sense, the self-serving aspect of her quest for political power.
Right.
I don't think you can burn down the same house twice. I think if you keep making those arguments, you may hold her where she is, but I don't think that necessarily unlocks the election. I think her
Right.
targets of opportunity where Hillary Clinton is, she's more of the same. Nothing will change and we're going in the right direction. Don't we deserve something a little better than this? Shouldn't we take a shot at opening up this economy, not closing it, growing America's economy instead of Washington's?
So we don't have a lot of time, but I want to ask each of you one big question each. But Hillary, one of the things that I have been hearing more and more is that because of Bernie Sanders, the challenge, the things that have come up, that the terrain in the country seems to have changed People know that Hillary Clinton is leading this charge. But a lot of people think they know Hillary Clinton as she's running, and the question is, can Hillary be Hillary if she wins? Will she be able to maintain the level of international engagement? Will she be able to do this? Or has what has happened with the Bernie Sanders challenge, whatnot, changed that? I'm sort of interested in whether Hillary can be Hillary.
Well, for, 15, 20 years running, Hillary Clinton was one of the top 2 or 3 most admired women in the world. It was only when she actually sought political power for herself that all of a sudden, no, girl, go away. We don't like you anymore. So I think she hasn't changed. I do think the perception of whether or not it's okay for her to be there unapologetically in a pantsuit seeking power has changed.
I'll offer a different perspective on that.
Let me finish, and you can trash me. So I do think that she has a kind of broad-based, optimistic view of our engagement in the world. And, Alex said that the country is feeling dismal. The most optimistic population in the country are 15 to 30-year-olds. So if we want to measure ourselves by how our children are feeling, we should feel pretty good that we're on the right track. It doesn't mean that there isn't a lot to fix. It doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of people left behind. But I do think that there is a significant number of opportunities that Hillary has thought about engaging in and doing that will be useful. The other interesting thing, as I've thought about it, is
you two should have a show together.
Most of mainstream Republican Washington really doesn't like Donald Trump very much, and Hillary Clinton was actually pretty well liked by Republicans when she served in the Senate. I think you're going to find in President Clinton somebody that Republicans want to work with, want to get things done with, and we'll see.
So
how
Alex,
we
last
make
question. Alex, last question for you. We had Paul Ryan open the day this morning, and Speaker Ryan was here. He laid a lot of vision, a lot of policy detail went on, and I couldn't help but think that saying, wow, their strategy is really just to hold out for 4 more. Is the Republican Party, say it loses under Donald Trump, you could also imagine if it wins. Let's say it wins under, can you imagine the Republican Party being something Paul Ryan might be able to ride in 4 years, or is it just going to break up into what is going to happen in your party?
I think in many ways we're healthier than the Democratic Party. We just took the party establishment just took a wonderful shellacking, right? We got our brains beat out. We put up 16 of our best and brightest, and an outsider like Donald Trump comes in and mows us down like he had a weed whacker. That's how hollow and empty our party was. We need to learn something from that, and you're seeing a new generation like Paul Ryan come in and talk about freedom and Republican principles in a different way and offer some different arguments. Should we keep doing things the old way, big old dumb top-down closed government from Washington, or should we open up this economy for everybody? Should we grow the economy naturally, bottom up, organically? Should we grow it the old way, top-down, politically and artificially from Washington? Should we open up education? Or should we keep it closed the way it is? Do we want 2 great parents down the street here, Michelle and Barack Obama? They chose the best school in town for their 2 beautiful daughters. God bless them. Why don't we give every American that choice? Let's open up education. Let's open up healthcare. Democrats can't go there. They're the top-down closed party. There's a better open, bottom-up Republican Party coming. That's the party that I think, if Donald Trump is elected, that I think he'll be working with, that'll surround him, that'll support him. But either way, this election, we're going to need a Republican Party that actually can express its beliefs and can lead the country in a better place. Democrats have nothing but the old top-down argument, the old closed system, factory-like government that is giving us the world we got today.
Rudy Giuliani and Newt Gingrich will be in charge of the government.
Last word, real quick. Say
Rudy Giuliani and Newt Gingrich.
You're
Chris
picking.
Christie, that's the Trump government.
So I just want to say, one of the to the audience as we wrap up this incredible forum, someone will come up, but I love Hilary Rosen and Alex Castellanos. I'll put my cards on the table because you have no doubt about their advocacy, but you see real candor, and I want to thank both of you. Hilary Rosen, Alex Castellanos, thank you so much for joining us.
Love to be.